My name's David Harley. I'm from Atlanta, Georgia. I'm a sinner, and this is my story. I grew up in Minnesota, about 45 minutes outside the Twin Cities, in the country, not too far from the train tracks. I was one of 7 kids, and my mom always had the dream to homeschool us all while my dad worked a good job to provide for the family. My mother's dream became a reality for all of us for about 5 years until 1997, when she started to have issues bending over and walking up and down stairs. We didn't know what was wrong. We took her to some of the best hospitals in the nation, but still, there were no answers. Just 2 years later, my father had kidney failure. And we went from having more than we could ever ask for to almost losing everything. We got to the point where we almost lost our house to foreclosure. And through it all, my mom always encouraged us to go to church, to pray. So I remember one day we were at church and there was only one question in my mind, one question that I kept asking God. God, if my family's doing all the right things, if I'm doing all the right things, why are these things happening to my family? And that question just kept reoccurring in my mind. God, why us? Outside of all the issues at home, the one thing that I had to fall back on was athletics in general, but football specifically. I was always the best player at school, and this is something that I took pride in, something that I worked for. I worked many, many hours every day trying to better my craft so I could be the best football player that I could be. And despite how hard things got at home, I could always fall back on it. You know, I saw so many stories on ESPN of athletes who had used their sport as a way to get out of their tough home situation and be able to play in college and eventually the NFL or the NBA or whatever league it was, just to escape the problems at home. And I felt like I could do the same, that this was my opportunity to get out of a tough situation, to go on and play in college and eventually the NFL one day. And throughout high school, as things were getting worse with my mother, the one thing that remained was football. And I continued to get better and better each day until my senior year of high school when I signed a football scholarship with a university in Kansas. It was my freshman year. I was going to college out in Kansas. I didn't play a lot as a freshman, mostly special teams. We had a big conference game coming up against one of our rivals. I had just found out that my father had an opportunity to come see my game. This is something I was so excited about. I hadn't seen him in over a year, and this is just something that I had dreamed about, playing in front of my dad in college. So the game went on. It was really close. It was actually a tie game late in the 4th quarter, and I had the opportunity to get put into the game because the receiver in front of me got hurt. He went down unexpected, and with about 3 minutes left in the 4th quarter, I got put into the game. It was a tie game. We were at the 20-yard line going in. A pass play was called, but it wasn't called for me. I was on the opposite side of the field. So the quarterback, he snapped the ball. He dropped back, and the defensive end made a great play. He ran up the field, cut the quarterback off, and the quarterback had to spin out of the pocket. I saw this happening, so I cut across the field, and I was waving my arm, kind of showing him that I was open. And he was a lefty. He saw me, and he pulled the ball back. He threw it a little bit high, a little bit hard, to the back corner of the end zone. And I reached up just like this, and the ball came in, and just like that, the ball hit off my fingers and went out of the back of the end zone. I was completely crushed. This was a catch I made 99 out of 100 times, and I dropped it. We went on to lose that game in double overtime, and I didn't even know what to think. I didn't know what to say. Felt like I let my teammates down, my father down, everyone. I've never felt so empty in my whole life. I remember being in the church, just praying and asking, why? Why did you allow this to happen to me, God? It was at this moment that I had a realization. Now, I've never been a person who's felt that God has just spoken to me directly, but I felt him place something on my heart. And it was the fact that I was putting my identity in things other than him. And it really made me reflect on all the different ways in my life in which I was putting idols above God. I was idolizing football, I was idolizing popularity, girls, just all these other things in my life that I was placing above my relationship with him. And I felt him just put it on my heart that I had to change. I had to truly dedicate myself to living for him. And this realization changed everything. I think oftentimes we hear in people's testimonies that they kind of lived happily ever after. That wasn't the case. I mean, I still feel pain. It's still hard for me to talk about that game and some of the things that I've experienced in my life. But this realization that I'm a son of God first has really changed me for the better. It gave me a better career. I played better. I enjoyed it a lot more. It allowed me to no longer worry about what others thought about me, trying to always impress others, and just rather be the best person that I could be for Christ. I have a relationship with him that I didn't even know was possible prior to this event, and just being able to lean on him in everything that I do. This brings me a lasting joy, a happiness, a contentment, which I never had before. And so until we're able to recognize that we're sons and daughters of Christ first, we can't be fulfilled. And that's really what I learned that day. My name is David Harley. I'm from Atlanta, Georgia, and I'm a sinner. But I've been redeemed by Jesus Christ, and I'm defined as a son of God.